Hey guys, what it is? Your boy Supreme to the God, and I'm here to start a fire. I know. I'm here to cause havoc. Zoro versus Sanji. I'm gonna do a little bit of a breakdown of the two characters, right? Actually, I don't dislike Sanji. I hate his gag, but I don't dislike Sanji, right? Um, I like all the Stray Hats, to be honest, and I want them all to win. I want them all to do great, especially Usopp. Now listen, Sanji fans and some Zoro fans are quite delusional, but I think the Sanji fans tend to take it at another level. Let's just break down what actually happens in the story, right? When we meet Zoro, he's when he's the first person that meets with Luffy for a reason. He's the first captain. Well, he's not the first captain, the right hand man of the captain, right? Second in command, vice captain, whatever you want to call it. He's in a spread page with all the vice captains, right? So he has to be the vice captain. He Luffy never says it outright, right? Because all he cares about, he's captain. But if you think about it, let's just go through the story, especially early in the story. Every time they get somewhere, they'd see Zoro fight and they'd be like, that must be the captain. They'd see Sanji fight and no fight fat. They'd see Sanji fight and nobody would say a word, right? But whenever they see Zoro fight, they're like, he's not even the captain and he's that strong. How is he not the captain? He must be the captain. Maybe he's the real captain. This was the narrative all the way before the first time skip, right? This was always a narrative that Zoro was so strong that he might as well have been the captain, right? That he was so strong that him and Luffy were seen as interchangeable. They even fought briefly, right? And Zoro obviously kept up. Whether you think Luffy was always stronger or not is irrelevant. But the comparison alone means that Oda wanted to let you guys know that those strengths were relative, right? At that point in time. And throughout all of before the time skip. Okay? And then if we go to Dressrosa, when that big ass rock guy was chilling there, causing havoc and trying to slow down the crew, Zoro says, I got this. Right? Where was Sanji at, right? Who did Sanji fight? Okay, I know he clashed with Doflamingo, but come on. So Zoro destroyed that big ass rock boy, right? Obliterated him. He fights the tougher opponents in every single arc, and Luffy fights the toughest opponents in every single arc. But in sometimes Zoro also fights the toughest opponents, right? It started with Arlong. Zoro fought Arlong while being completely crippled, right? And Arlong, after seeing his injury, knew that if this guy was that injured, I am cooked. I would be cooked. And if I don't kill this guy right now, this guy will become so damn strong, it'll be impossible to even think of beating this guy, right? Oda purposely injured Zoro. I called him the injured one in the early arcs because his strength was too close to Luffy to a point that if he wasn't injured, there's no reason for him to not be able to take on the main opponent all throughout East Blue, right? I would argue all throughout the first arc, apart from Nico Mora, apart from him, because I think Luffy needed to cheat as well to even win against him. And that's why I don't really get the downplay that he gets, because he was way stronger than all of them. It's just Luffy got all the ghosts from all the people in the island to get strong enough to fight him. So Zoro has all of these displays. Arlong, even like all of these things. And he fights the second in command every single time, right? And yet, for some reason, Sanji fans think that this guy Sanji is on a similar level to Zoro. The only comparison you get between Zoro and Sanji is usually from fans or between the two of them talking about each other. Well, mainly Sanji trying to compare himself to Zoro. You never see in the story, and remember, we're like 1,000+ chapters into the story. There's never a time where people that don't know them describe them as nearly equal. They're just like, oh, this guy's strong, this guy's strong. With Zoro, you got specifically people saying, how is he not the captain? That guy is as strong as the captain. Directly, right? Sanji gets his praise sometimes, but nobody ever says, oh, he's captain. No, he's as strong as the captain. That should already tell you that in Oda's mind, it's Luffy and Zoro and then Sanji. Okay? I mean, that's what the story is telling you. This is not me making my opinion. This is not me giving an opinion. This is me telling you what the story is telling us, right? We fast forward to the time skip with Whole Cake Island and stuff like that. Whole Cake Island, Zoro doesn't go. Okay? It's a good reason for Zoro not to go because Sanji's arc, you wanted to focus on Sanji. Narratively speaking, cool. But what's another reason? Right? You can argue. This is my opinion here, this part here. If Zoro is there, they don't have that much trouble because they could 2v1 anybody. Because in that mission, like when they need to, they will jump somebody. Right? And this is proven in when they need to jump Kaido. Okay? And listen, this is the biggest factor. When they are fighting in Wano on Kaido's floating island, Zoro fights King. Before he fights King, he's up on the rooftop doing better than Luffy, who was everything, who's conquers Haki, all of these things, right? He's outperforming Luffy, he's outperforming Law, he's outperforming Kid. In fact, I would argue he was outperforming all three of them combined. Zoro by himself. He was cooking, scarring Kaido, everything. Forced Kaido to dodge because Big Mom was like, dodge. And Kaido normally just tanks everything and he dodged out the way. And then as soon as that happens, Zoro gets kicked off the rooftop because he's injured. And why you need to do that is because Oda already showcased, like, yo, this guy is capable of cutting through Kaido. Right? And this should also tell you what the Mihawk versus Kaido conversation is easily. But, whatever. So he cut through Kaido. He was performing amazingly. Sanji was fighting Queen. That was his biggest plus in the whole arc. He was fighting Queen. Okay? And he obviously obliterated Queen. Zoro had to be completely injured, right? And then get a medicine that just hides the pain. And he went out there and fought while completely crippled. All his bones broken. He had like 20 broken bones. And he went out there and fought. And won with 20 broken bones. That means his attacks probably weren't even as powerful as they possibly could be. And he still won. So how are these guys even comparable? Right? How are these two guys even comparable? It's like currently Gear 5 Luffy is like a head and shoulders above everybody in the crew. Zoro is the closest to him, but I think there's quite a large margin and quite a large gap between the two because what Gear 5 ended up doing to Kaido was a whole different level. He didn't just scar Kaido, he basically killed Kaido. Do you know what I mean? So that's a whole different level of power, right? I'm not saying Zoro can't reach that level of power. I think he's going to have to reach that level of power in order to defeat Mihawk. But he's just not there right now, right? And him fighting Lucci. Again, Rob Lucci. Who fought Rob Lucci in Wano? Luffy did. Luffy fought Rob Lucci. Lucci was up chilling. He was injured. Obviously, got his ass beat up. And then Zoro went and fought him. And beat him up. And Zoro wanted to kill him. Right? Fishman had to pull up and save the boy. And save Rob Lucci, like, yo, listen, he's already down, man. Like, you don't have to, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to hit him. Because Zoro was like, nah, he's still not down, bro. I'm going to cut this boy up. And now Zoro is fighting Nozero, the horse fucking Gorosei, like, and that whole Gorosei has the best feats. Sanji tagged him by sneaking him. And then he beat the shit out of Sanji, and Sanji was fucking passed out. Like, Sanji also got knocked out with eye haki, bro. Like, what? What are we talking about? Like, how are we comparing these two guys? Oh, what are we doing? Like, I don't understand. Like, Sanji's third, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I think he'd fry Jinbei. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's good though. That's like we're happy with Zoro. Zoro fans are happy with Zoro being second to Luffy. But Sanji fans can't be happy with them being third to Zoro, like, or third to Luffy and second to Zoro. Like, what are we talking about? What feat does Sanji have that says that he can even do anything to Zoro? And if we're gonna talk about speed, Zoro's attack speed is insane. He blitz speedsters with his swords, bro. Like, when Zoro's movement speed is definitely slower than Sanji's. His attack speed is not slower than Sanji's. Sanji's gonna go for infinite Jambe and he's gonna have no leg. I'm telling you, even with his skeleton, he's gonna have no leg. Zoro is cutting through that shit. We already know he could cut through steel and before the time skip. In Alabasta, he learned how to cut through steel. In Alabasta. In Wano, he almost cut through Kaido. He cut through a Lunarian. In King. What are we talking about? What are we... Sanji's greatest feat thus far is fighting Queen. Zoro's greatest feat is scarring Kaido, killing King, or defeating King, defeating Rob Lucci, and now he's going to be fighting Agorose 1v1. Come on. Like, what are we doing? This is not a debate, ladies and gentlemen. Zoro wipes mid-death. I know I just caused a fire. But your boy from the God. Let me know why you think Sanji stands a chance. He does not. I'm out.